Hey everyone, you are listening to Traveler's Moon's podcast. There it goes, it's going. For everybody listening, anything that the hosts say does not reflect on anything that goes along with Paranormal Buzz Radio. And for that, I welcome you guys to the hosts of Traveler's Moon podcast, Kelly McCarville and Chris Nielsen.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. I think I speak for everybody here at Travelers Moon when I say I'm still trying to think of something really derisive. Okay, so you guys just tuning in. We've had a hard time getting connected, so this is the second time I've had this fucking soft opening.
The second time he has failed to do
I
it.
firmly believe the bologna should be a square. There, I said it. So it goes on the bread easier.
I mean, that makes way more sense. And yet, I won't eat Wendy's hamburgers because they're square.
It's because the bun's a fucking circle.
Chaos.
They did it
everywhere.
backwards.
Fucking chaos everywhere.
So welcome everybody to the Paranormal Buzz Radio finale of Traveler's Moon. We are coming in we're going out the same way we came in. Technical difficulties, a glass of whiskey, and just kind of winging it. It seems to be the thing. That's what we do here at the Traveler's Moon podcast.
Yeah, so anybody who didn't tune into our last show, we had decided to give our poor producer a break. We are like herding cats with our schedules, and we know that we're not always most consistent with our shows, so we figured this way we can be a little more chaotic.
Yeah, we'll be a little more chaotic with the actual the schedule itself. Also, anything coming up in the future. I'm not fully sure logistically how it's going to work. If it's going to be continued to be called the Travelers Moon Podcast or what's happening. But we're looking at Facebook live as an option. And maybe once we hit that 1,000 followers mark, live on YouTube as well. You hear some clickety clicks. That's Kelly. She's saying, hey, everyone, : B.
Because I have to communicate. It's important. We have to say hi. Because Stephanie's in there, and Kim's in there, and Allison's in there.
Wait, Allison's in there? Damn.
Allison's in there.
Oh, shit.
It's like she's freaking everywhere.
Hey, your mom found you.
Hi, Mom. Format changed on your end? I don't know. It looks the same on our side, but then
same here.
I don't know. So, yeah. So we're still planning on having a podcast. We're hoping it's still going to be called the Traveler's Moon Podcast. And eventually the goal is to probably still have it out on streaming networks for everybody who listens to us and follows us can still find those podcasts. But these are all logistics that we're still getting figured out.
Shit's got bonkers.
But, we have really good intentions sometimes, and our follow-through is not always the best. So,
there's so freaking many people who can attest to that.
Yeah. And it's just for whatever reason. And I know why. It's our crazy schedules. We still have our full-time little jobs that we do. And, I've got 5 expos that I'm running a year, and Chris trying to keep up with his gym schedule, and then put traveling 30 plus.
Blame me trying to attain a better body. But that's blame.
I said the expos too. I
have a hole in the new shirt already, son of a
You cannot rip the sleeves off of a brand new shirt.
I have to.
Or I could stitch it.
Anyways.
Anywho.
Welcome, everybody, to the Traveler's Moon Podcast.
We're not going away.
Hey, Jenny.
We're just changing what we're doing. So. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to just, look through our list of shows and kind of talk about, what's been some of our favorites and,
Yeah, look back at the last few years. Traveler's Moon podcast started back in 2020 with PBR. That's been a minute.
It's been a minute. It has been a minute. And, of course, the very first guest that we'd had on the show, and this seems to be a trend, at least for me, because he was the first one. Yeah.
We were the first guests.
Well, yes, for the premiere.
Fuck yeah, got it.
But our first guest, sticking with my trend of having this person as my first guest on my previous podcast, was Mr. Daniel Class of the Hinsdale House. So keep with that theme. That gotta keep going with that.
So when we get back to the lives, we'll try to. It's like a whisper sound.
Or is this sound like a whisper?
We crank up on this.
Oh, Allison. Make sure we're turned up all. All right, let us know if the sound has gotten any better.
All right,
guys.
so I tried to turn the sound up, but once I did that, you guys sounded like you were coming from another planet.
Volume just went up, then a spaceship landed.
Yeah, because you got. So yeah, I have it at the max that I can have it at without you guys sounding like you're.
Okay, let us know if
you're getting into 420 a little too early.
Spaceship landed.
We'll just have to talk louder.
Spaceship landed. Does that mean that echo?
So it must be, well, but they've got a little bit of a delay. So let us know if that echo clears up, guys.
Yeah, I don't know why that all of a sudden just started, but I'm sorry.
It's not on our end, is it? Technical difficulties, guys. Like Chris said, we came in with the same thing we are going on with.
Yeah. That's not Shay.
So Allison sounds okay, but we're echoing.
Yeah, and I don't know why you started because nothing has changed. So you guys sounded fine when we first started, and then all of a sudden it started to echo. So I'm not sure what's
echo. Hang on. Bear with me, guys.
Oh. Testing.
On a real check. USB. How about now?
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I remember those old commercials.
Let me just plug my headphones back in. Maybe that'll make a difference.
Actually, that might be it.
Yeah, it may be. We're working on it, guys. We'll get it figured out.
Okay, so headphones are plugged back in.
And we're testing mic 2. Testing mic 2.
See, when I'm listening to you guys right here on my computer, I can hear you just fine without an echo.
Okay, yeah. Echo gone.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I'm not
hearing it. Must have been the headphones. It must have been the headphones. We're sounding good now.
Awesome.
All right, so you ready for this thing to take off?
Continue, pretend I'm not here.
Allison. Good job.
Continue. Peace out.
Okay. So we're back. Thanks for bearing with us, guys. All right. So, yeah. We're going to have Dan back on the show sometime.
I agree.
Because he's a good time. Plus, we've been to Hinsdale since he's been on the show last.
Slight echo, but better. But it's not as annoying. That's what we shoot for here. We're shooting for possible sound problems, but definitely not annoying. Can't have that.
Hopefully we're still good. We'll see.
Well, we know there's a slight echo.
Other people were saying it's good, though, so. We've had some pretty fun topics over the time, though. I mean, because I'm looking back through here. So, like, we discussed Ouija boards, which is always a hot topic, you know?
Yeah, so what did we learn from the Ouija board episode?
That they're most dangerous if I pick it up and throw it at you.
Oh. Well, I definitely had the wrong takeaway from that episode.
Oh.
I was under the impression they were like a straight up portal to hell.
They are. That's why they're fun.
Well, that sounds pretty dangerous.
No, it's just a good time. That's like a party. No, don't give people the wrong impression.
So Kelly says that a portal to hell sounds like a party, and this is my freaking life.
Ow. We're a good time.
Your words.
Oh, no, so that was a fun episode, though.
Yeah, takeaway from the Ouija board episode. Honestly, this is kind of a good mental game for pretty much any of you guys who are, feel hesitant when it comes to the Ouija board. So, hypothetically speaking, I want to work with something. I want to communicate with spirits for some reason. And I set this thing down in front of me, and I'm like, hey, is there anybody here?
But do an experiment. I set a piece of equipment down in front of me.
I was just about to get to that. That was the damn punchline. Damn it.
I'm sorry, I'll shut up.
Damn it. I had all this build-up. I had a setup. It was going to be fantastic. But yeah, that's exactly it. That's the point. It is no different than, I was going to be like, I set it down. I'm like, hey, is there anybody here with me? Am I talking about a spirit board? Or am I talking about a spirit box? Because the approach is exactly the same.
This is what happens when we share a brain.
No, I think I was just going somewhere pretty obvious with it. You decided to steal my thunder.
I'm going to steal your thunder. You're a pain in the butt.
Take my thunder somewhere else. So yeah, big takeaway from the Ouija board episode was, just a little bit of a, change of perspective, and they're not nearly as terrifying. They also weren't as terrifying until the year, I believe it was 1973, when The Exorcist came out. And then everybody got scared of them because pea soup and spinning heads and...
Yeah, something like that. I'm looking back through the list.
Hot man.
How many of you guys listened to the episode with Keith Weldon on it? He's the developer of Spiritus and Necrophonic. That was a good one. That was a good one, too.
Yeah, that was a really fun one.
But these next two, the Amityville Horror, I don't think we covered everything that we needed to or could have. And
so I feel like that was
2 episodes.
So yeah, hit smash that like button. I don't know if you guys can smash a like button in Spreaker. We'll start doing that when we get to Facebook, though. If you guys remember the Amityville episodes, be sure to hit the like and share the podcast. Amityville was a deep dive, and it's
we could have talked about it so much longer.
Maybe not necessarily Amityville, but we at one point when we were looking at season 2 of the podcast here, we were looking at just a general The Warrens series, and I think that would have been don't get me wrong, I feel like we could have talked about Amityville for maybe another episode. But The Warrens, we could make an entirely new podcast about that. Mm-hmm. Because through all the digging and all that stuff, I have I went from borderline hero worship to questioning, wondering.
And I still have a lot of respect for them in what they did for the field.
Pondering.
Because they did do a lot for the field and getting it out there and getting it a little bit more accepted. Where I struggle is that everything was a demon. That's where I struggle. But that's
the problem with modern media.
Yeah, and we kind of got away from that, and now the pendulum's swinging back to where everything's a demon again, which is just bleh, bleh. So, anyways. But the Amityville, yeah. We could easily revisit that and probably talk about things that we haven't even talked about and still have a whole nother show. Definitely. And then we had our show with Mr. Coyote, Chris Sutton.
Oh.
We miss our Chris.
All right. R.I.P. Coyote.
What's that one?
Introduction to Intuition.
Oh, okay.
Is the next one. And we've just been running with that one ever since. So yeah, the Introduction to Intuition rolls right off the tongue. Don't even have to think about that one a little bit when it comes to enunciation. That was a precursor to one of our many
intuitive
retreats. That's quit stealing my words, lady.
You looked like you were struggling.
That's because
words.
I was struggling on those words. It was a nice kind of introduction, if you will.
Introduction
to one of our intuitive retreats, which we host a couple, usually one a year. We're actually talking about potentially throwing one in this summer, though.
We had way too many people wanting into this last one, so yeah, we're looking for another
sold out
summer
in 48 hours.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy how quick that filled up. I wish they'd show me the dates on this screen. The one after our introduction to intuition class is where we developed a safe word.
Was that?
That was our show with Jamie Chad.
Was that when the safe word came out?
Yep, Jamie was the one who required a safe word.
Here's a test. Here's a test, everybody. Y'all have probably heard it at least once. What's our safe word? In the comments. Do it. Jamie Chad.
Do it.
Jamie Chad, that was a fun episode.
Midwest Paranormal History Tours.
That sounds very correct. In Omaha.
And I believe I saw that her tours are starting either last weekend or this coming weekend. So she's just getting her season kicked off again with those tours. And if I recall right, she added a spot. So yeah.
Not to go off on too much of a tangent. This is just get your guys a little bit of a backstory. So out in Western Iowa, there is actually a very famous poker player. Came out of that area. Goes by an alias, kind of like Prince or Cher, where he goes by the name The Council. And no one has ever been able to beat him in a game of poker because just when you think you got him, the Council bluffs. Because of this. I'm here all day.
This is my life, guys. This is what I'm signing up for the rest of my life. Oh my God. So I don't think anybody's going to get themselves out of trouble. Nobody seems to remember what the safe word is.
Oh, that's very dangerous. Ooh, we do have a question in chat. So if at any point during this podcast, there's no script for this, we'll probably revisit a bunch of old shows and, have some fun. So questions all around if anybody has any. So the question comes from Mama Pat. So question back to the Warrens. ... I thought it added dramatic effect. Was it just that anything anybody was willing to publish or promote had to do with demons because that's what producers want? In other words, were the investigations that don't include investigations that don't include demons, but they didn't get shared as much?
I mean, I think there's absolute truth to the fact that the whole demons are sexy thing. I mean, it's what gets the views, but.
And I think it was a combination of things because they did acknowledge human spirits.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, Ed Warren and Lorraine were demonologists. And generally speaking, if you take a demonologist into a haunted location, guess what they find?
Well, and you take it to that, weren't they Roman Catholics? I mean, so they have this bigger belief that if there's something that's undead that's still communicating, it has to be demonic, So I wonder how much of it is that. And how many cases did they work on that weren't demonic, that just didn't get the attention like Mama Pat is seeing, because that's not the things that everybody wants to talk about because it's not fun and sexy. They want to talk about the demon cases, There's a lot of questions there. We could do shows.
I think maybe winter time comes around, maybe you do a Warrens series.
I like it.
Maybe. Ooh.
I like it. Oh, shit. Shit.
All right. We got another question in chat real quick, and we can answer this one pretty damn quick because I think it was on the last show before that. One location you would like to investigate in the U.S.?
Just one?
Yeah, just one.
Trans-Allegheny, Eastern State Pen, Queen Mary.
That's more than one.
I don't care. Sarah Winchester House.
We didn't do stateside last time. I'm struggling with this.
I know.
I was so confident with the introduction of this question, and now I'm.
I know. I was like, I don't think we answered this.
The struggle bus it's upon us.
I know, Jen, but I couldn't narrow it down to just one because, there's so many cool places.
I don't know if Fairfield would be the top of the list. Fairfield, I'm definitely curious to get into. It's
Fairfield.
Fairfield Infirmary in Ohio. Ohio? I feel like maybe it's Ohio. No, full blown.
The Conjuring House.
Investigation. Yeah, the Conjuring House is up there. Honestly, that one's a big one. I just want to see.
I want to see what.
Yeah, Lancaster, Ohio.
Yeah.
I want to see if the hype's there for the Conjuring House.
Because you hear all the stories, and obviously you saw the movie, and we all know that the movie was embellished. But
what?
But like talking to Andrea, the movie is nothing at all like what they really experienced. So. But yet you hear all of these teams that go in there and they're like, oh, we had all this crazy ass stuff happening. Well, is it because you went in there expecting the crazy ass stuff to happen? Or is there really things that are still happening there, you know? And are the things that maybe are still happening there, is it the same thing that Andrea's family experienced? Or
Andrea
is it
who?
Perone.
Yeah. Gotta give people the whole name.
Sorry. Well, see, I hesitated because I always forget if it's Perone or Perrin. I think it might be Perrin.
I think it depends on what documentary you're watching.
Yeah. And I don't know that I've ever heard any one of them announce. I've met the entire family except for, is it Cindy that's passed away? And the mom. But otherwise, I've met the whole family. I've got a picture of me with the whole family. It's pretty fun. Anyways, they were super nice. They were super nice people. Like, they had met me for the first time, and Ricker Snicker knows them. So he was the one who like introduced me to them, but it was like immediately I was part of their family, and they were just the nicest people. Anyways,
I still haven't narrowed it down to one.
Andrea Perrin is the family. It's her parents, Roger and good God, I'm drawing the blank on
Roger's wife.
Roger and Roger's wife.
Yeah.
The book's up under my bed, so I can't look it up right now. But anyways, they're the ones who moved into the Conjuring House. It's the real family that lived at the Conjuring House and had the experiences there. So anyways, very nice family. Would love to get in there and just see what the house was really like.
St. Augustine Lighthouse, maybe?
Yeah, Dustin says that's a really cool place. So when you ask Dustin Perry, like, what's one of his favorite locations, St. Augustine rings up there for him. I know he said.
House of Light?
Yep, that's the name of the book.
House of Light of Dark. Okay.
House of Light, House of Darkness. That's the name of Andrea's book.
I say that I've never heard of that place.
It's the name of her first book. I think it's a series of 3.
No, I know now that you've said it.
But I think it's upstairs under my bed.
Probably is.
Well,
no sense dwelling.
Trying to read it. So.
Yeah, Trans-Alleghenies might be the top.
I would love to investigate Ohio State, but I think maybe like we're going to have some time in there before and after the event starts. Who can stop me from whipping out my phone a little bit? I'll let you run the booth. I'll disappear into the cell behind us.
That's not how that's working even a little bit.
Why? I'll just go hang out in the booth behind us and investigate, and we can run a live ghost hunt while we're doing our event.
Not even sure that's allowed.
We'll talk to Craig. Yeah. Anywho, one guest that we had on, which is absolutely fascinating to me, and I think that I am as intrigued with him as a guest and have as many questions for him as anybody else does, Nash Hoover.
Nash Hoover, what a guy. I don't think we ever hit the trifecta on PBR, but we will have to hit the trifecta soon with the live stream.
Because I still have a million questions for him. Like a million questions for him, and we have to get out and do something with him.
Yeah, Nash Hoover, cryptozoologist. Actually, he's making his way back into the spooky shit by like our definition of spooky shit. Like, don't get me wrong, a large smelly monkey in the woods. That's pretty spooky.
Let's do a public event with him.
That's an idea.
Oh shit!
After the show.
Yeah.
After the show. Yeah, after the show. We're gonna call Nash.
Oh shit.
Yeah, cryptozoology is getting back into the spooky shit, though, like our spooky shit.
But there's so much more. I mean, when you talk paranormal, it isn't just spirits. And, like, I don't know much about the cryptozoology side of things or UFOs or any of that. And, like, I was just pounding questions. Like I don't know if anybody else got a chance to ask questions because I had so many things I wanted to ask, and it was just fascinating to listen to him.
Tell me one thing you learned.
I learned that there is a ton of shit that I don't know, and that a lot of the stories of the cryptids that you hear, you only hear just like a little bitty piece of it. You don't hear like where the story started. And when you talk to Nash, he can tell you more of like where those stories started.
Yeah, cryptids fun. I got bored over the winter and started making a map of Iowa where all the spooky shit happened, and we've had dozens of Bigfoot sightings, like just here in the Hawkeye State. It's very weird to see.
Yeah. And it's funny that Mom said Gettysburg again, and the next thing that was on our list.
That's not a Gettysburg episode.
What?
That wasn't a Gettysburg episode.
What wasn't? Battlefields, plantations, and
I
something?
didn't go to Gettysburg then.
Well, wasn't that after we went to Vicksburg and Gettys? No, Vicksburg and...
Yeah, it was Vicksburg before.
Well, yeah, but it was kind of ironic that she said Gettysburg, and then it's a Battlefields was the next one.
Oh, I see the segue you're trying to make. Look at me getting overly technical.
Connections. There was a connection here.
Yes, Allison, we're going to go squatching.
We are.
Next group trip's a squatching trip. Everybody start practicing your hiking.
We'll see.
We're going to go out into the woods. We're going to...
I mean, we could probably do that. I don't know if it'd be with Nash, but...
Going to start smacking sticks against trees.
Okay, but again, if you go out and you call in a squatch and it finally shows up, what you can do?
For science. That's my answer at almost any time. Like, there's a potentially bad result. Like, the Devil's Chair here in Ottumwa, Iowa.
Selfies.
You sit on it. A selfie, yeah. I don't know. You see what happens to freaking white people in the buffalo at Yellowstone.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe saw a meme recently. It was like, people go out there making Bigfoot mating calls. What you going to do when he comes rolling out of the hills full tilt with a raging boner?
Yeah.
For science.
No. No. I've thought of that, Mom. And again, are you looking at our list or are you just creepy? Because, next up after Battlefields and Plantations is Cambry.
But first, Battlefields and Plantations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was a follow-up episode on a week and a half? How long were we gone?
I don't know, but do you see that Stephanie's mom thought she saw a Bigfoot in her backyard in Texas?
I hear there's squatches in Texas.
That's crazy.
Steph, your family has all the fun.
Right? Okay, Battlefield, sorry.
So yeah, this followed by, I believe, a 10-day trip. We went to Vicksburg Battlefield in, get ready for this one, Vicksburg.
Bet you wouldn't have thought that.
Spent the night at, was that Duff Green?
Duff Green Mansion.
At Duff Green Mansion. We spent the night at
Highly
Ocala Plantation. We tried doing some shit in New Orleans, but the spirits of New Orleans took away with us.
The liquid.
The liquid spirits. I was drinking something called antifreeze. Kelly tried to sell me.
I didn't. I could have. I didn't try, or I'd have been rich. But I could have easily made money off of him that night. Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
What else did we do on the trip? I know there's more.
We went to Ocala Plantation. We spent the night there, which is fun. I don't think we really had much happen though, but it was raining, so we weren't able to really go out and walk around the grounds and stuff. But Duff Green, and then we stayed. And
Duff Green was kind of wild.
Duff Green is so cool.
So this freaking lady, and we're staying the night at an old allegedly haunted B&B. All right, very cool. How can this get any worse? Oh, this place used to be a surgery during the Civil War. They have pictures of human limbs outside of that window, all the way up to the top. How freaking neat is that? It's not neat.
It's super fun.
It's not neat.
It's the room you absolutely request when you're going to stay.
I'm prone to intrusive thoughts. So I'm one of those people when I sleep, I lay in bed and my legs got to be out.
He's a fucking furnace.
From underneath the sheet. And it's summer, so it's hot anyways. And my legs out from underneath the sheet. And I'm just about, Chris is about to visit Snooze Town when the intrusive thought shows up. Hey, back in the day, that's probably the leg they thought to take because it was the one out from underneath the sheet. I had to sleep with both legs covered that night. I thought death was upon me.
The funny part is when we were talking the next morning, I'd had the same thought because I had a leg out somewhere and I'm like, nope, no legs out, and covered it back up. Yeah. But that was the same night that I woke up, and I don't know if it's because I'd heard the stories that they would see someone standing by the fireplace or if there truly was something standing by the fireplace. But I woke up and I swear to God, there was something standing by that fireplace.
I did a little kind of assessing. So, like, from the position I was sleeping in, there's a corner post on the bed, and it does have like kind of a knob to it at a pretty high.
It was bigger than that, though.
But like when you're half awake, your brain can't make heads or tails. Your brain can hardly make heads or tails of anything when you're awake, much less in that like kind of dreamy state.
Gee, thanks.
No, that's any human. Don't think yourself above the other people.
Yeah, I don't know. That was one of those, I don't know if I really saw it or not, but not nearly as clear as I saw the guy standing in the corner when we were on our way down. Was that same trip that we stopped in Perryville, Missouri?
You think in Perryville, Ohio?
No, we stopped in Perry.
Oh, that Airbnb that wasn't planning on being part of the haunted road trip, but the place was definitely haunted.
So we were heading down. Was that same trip?
Yeah.
So we were heading down, and we knew we were going to drive partway that night and just find a place to stay. And so I just found this B&B, which turned out to be absolutely amazing. It was a great location. We all said, wish we could have spent more time there. Because, yeah, it was a little haunted. And we didn't know that going in, obviously. But so Chris and I were in one bedroom that had a bathroom in the bed, not in the bedroom, but attached. And so
there was a bucket in the corner. We just kind of assumed.
Oh, maybe. But like, so there was the door that went out of the room that was straight in front of the foot of the bed. And then off to our right, there was a closet door, and right next to it was the bathroom door. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and I see somebody heading towards that closet door. And I thought, he's half asleep. He's about to go piss in the closet. I better stop him. So I go to sit up to tell him, hey, Chris, you're not heading to the bathroom. And he's still in bed next to me. And it's like, okay, then. So, yeah, I just laid back down and didn't look.
Mind your own damn business.
Yep. You go pee in the closet, Mr. Ghosty. It's fine. It's fine. That was a fun trip, though.
That was a great trip. And after that, it was just about summertime. Summer was about upon us. We were just about to the summer solstice, which led to our next guest, Rebecca Williams, who hosts the summer solstice event. What did I say?
Williams.
What did I say?
You said Williams.
Williamson.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what? It's been a long day, boys and girls. Williamson.
Williamson.
I said Williams?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rebecca. I know your name. I swear to God, I do. It's just too many damn syllables.
It is a lot of syllables. There's so many letters in that name.
Yeah, so that was a kind of a all things a little meta, little spooky, little weird festival at the Cambry House and Farm outside of Nauvoo, Illinois.
So we're going to give her a really cool shout out, guys. So if you guys do not follow the Cambry House on TikTok, you need to go out and look them up. The Cambry House. And I don't remember what day it is that she posted it, but it was at the Cedar Falls Expo when she was doing her presentation. She pulled up this picture of a wedding photo out at the farm. And very clearly in the window, you can see a spirit standing there. And then she puts it up next to Horace Cambry. It's creepy similar. It's a really cool, really, really cool. So go check that out, guys. Excuse me.
Yeah, we made our way along that. And then double whammy investigations, the June of that year. Wait, no. It's been tail end of June?
I don't remember.
Tail end of June. Back-to-back Lent Mansion.
Yes.
And the Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
That was two big ones to mark off the list.
Holy crap, two huge ones to mark off the list. And we didn't get enough time at either of them. Mostly because I believe there's not enough time for either of those places.
No.
Lent Mansion's absolutely beautiful, and I would have lived there if they would let me. I tried. They found me very quickly.
You could hide in that bathroom alone, though.
Damn, Waverly Hills. I could definitely hide there. You can find a hidey hole.
Yeah, but if they got any sign of you, we saw firsthand that they will take off running to chase you and find you.
Oh, that sounds like a segue into a story.
It is a story.
That is a story. So, for anybody who hasn't been to Waverly Hills Sanatorium, and you're like, I want to do the overnight, but it's $1,100. Don't worry, we did the same thing.
Yeah.
But shit happens on the tours. The tours were, honestly, we had a fair amount of stuff going on the tours. So, we eventually get up to I believe we're on the 4th floor.
I thought we were on the 3rd. 4th floor is...
3rd or 4th floor. We were high up. What was 4th floor?
4th is the top floor.
No, that's 5th.
Is there 5 floors?
Yeah, there's 5 floors. 5 is the 5th floor in the open area up top.
I still think
Don't question me on my way, really.
I still think we were on 3rd.
So anyways, we're on a higher floor in an already tall building. And they bring us out to the north side of the building, and you can see, like, down the entire length of this monstrous structure. And at the far end of the building, there is a single street light that's basically our only source of, like, outside light. And on the far end, we see, like, something moving, and it catches the eyes of myself, the one and only, the great and powerful Mr. Chad Derry, and one of the tour guides. And we stop and we're like, we're taking pause and we're looking at it. We don't want to make too much of an assessment of it. But then we see a flashlight come on, and it was go time for these tour guides / security guards.
And let's give a shout out to the tour guide security people at Waverly Hills Sanitarium. That place is huge. It is dark. It's abandoned. You don't know what you're going to run into, and they got balls of steel. They split. One of them was running down the hallway. I don't know what you call it on the outside. The walkway on the outside. One of them goes to the inside hallway, and they together run down the hallway. So anything that's down there cannot get a way out without coming towards them.
A healthy flanking maneuver.
Balls of frickin' steel, because it's dark. They think there's somebody down there. You don't know what you're going to trip over, and you never know when little ghosty person's going to step out in front of you. Balls of steel. Balls of steel. Anyways,
and they came back with no results. There was nobody down there, and like seeing a shadow move is one thing, but like we saw somebody flipped on a flashlight, and
there's literally no way that anybody who was down there could have gotten out without going past them. No, unless they jumped off the 3rd story.
Which I might have.
No, God, no. Those are big old stories.
Can't find out unless you fuck around.
Waverly was also where Kim and I and Cynthia were standing up at the top of the death tunnel.
Oh, a ball.
It was scary.
Go ahead. Tell them.
No, I don't want to tell the story
anymore. I already I made the segue for the story.
No, you were mean.
I wasn't mean. I would have been afraid of the ball, too. No, for real. If I wasn't having my own, like, personal moment of horror, it probably would have been a little spooky.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
We're heading down to the death tunnel, and the hallway leading down there, there's this big rubber ball like you used to play with at recess, right? And so we're standing up at the top of the death tunnel while the idiots are walking down the steps, trying to scare themselves to poop themselves, going down the death chute. As we're standing there, we hear that rubber ball bouncing down the hallway towards us, and we know there's no way out except to go towards the noise that we're hearing. And it's like, do we tell the people down at the bottom of the death chute, or do we just leave them down there to fend for themselves? But we stayed, because otherwise would have had to come by the noise. I mean, we stayed to protect you guys.
The scary, scary bouncy ball.
You're scared of a shadow. Shut the hell up.
Shadows are a hell of a lot scarier than balls.
Mine's physical. Yours is a shadow.
Shadows are physical? Shh. It is an absence of light.
Pussy.
We completely glossed over Limp Mansion there, but it's kind of hard not to on a trip like that, you know?
Limp was fun, though.
Limp was very cool. Limp's been a return thing for us a couple times. Never for another investigation, which we need to fix the state of that really quick.
Again, I think we need to just find a weekend where they've got all the rooms available and
rent them all out.
Get on that.
We have been back for lunch pretty much every time we've been in the greater St. Louis area.
Heck yeah. Oh my gosh. They're it's not a buffet, but they're family style.
Yeah, family
meals.
style.
Delish.
You get fat.
So fat.
Get a little sassy.
And that's exactly it, Mama Pat. It's not the ball I was scared of. It's what was bouncing that damn thing down the hall. Thank you very much. See, my mama loves me. Anywho.
Moving forward in time. 15 tips.
We haven't done that either for a while.
We haven't.
Sorry, I skipped over.
15 tips for new investigators. Do we remember the 15? Absolutely not.
No.
But I think it went somewhere along the lines of don't be a dick, don't assume everything's evil, and treat ghosts like they're people, because ghosts are people too.
Yeah, I don't remember. We got them wrote down somewhere.
We got them written down somewhere, but I couldn't begin to.
We should go back and learn things from our show.
We should. We'll rewrite it down. We'll turn it into a blog. After that, another Nash Hoover episode, Nash Hoover 2. And then we did some live readings on the Paranormal Buzz radio network.
That was crazy.
And that was a long-ass night because we did live readings for over an hour, and then we switched over to Facebook and did it for another 2.
Yeah, that was a long night. It was fun, though. We had a good time. We haven't done that for a while.
What's the next one up?
Haunted House. Is it Shaler?
Oh, it's the Haunted Horror Film and Paranormal Investigation Festival and other events. Hello,
I think
title.
it was a recap because there'd been such a break between the 2 shows.
Which takes back to Cambria House. There was a cool horror film festival that we got to be a part of. We kind of spearheaded the spooky stuff of their already spooky movies.
There's a group out of California that was coming in, and they'd asked us to come in and be the paranormal team that was part of that, and we got to meet some really cool people.
Got to meet some cool film directors. We got to watch somebody kill a baby.
Oh my God. Such a cool guy with such a dark, creative talent.
Killed the baby.
Yeah.
On film. It wasn't a real baby, don't worry. I don't know if they cancel people on Spreaker for saying things like that. It was so
hilarious, though. We're sitting watching this movie, right? And it's just a movie. But, like, he's standing over the crib, and everybody's like, oh, no, you don't kill babies in movies, right? And the guy kills the baby, and every head in the room turns and looks at this director, and he's like, I'm going to go smoke. He just stands up and walks out. Yeah. It was actually a pretty good movie. My phone keeps dying.
It's because you have it. I don't know why you have it like that.
Does it lock up? Doesn't yours lock after a certain period of time?
Not that short of time. Next up was Phantom Science.
Those guys are awesome.
Those guys are a whole lot of fun.
I mean, so it's...
I get to get my nerd on.
Yeah.
Because I can't talk to Kelly about a lot of things.
Well, you can. It's just my eyes
Science
glaze over.
stuff, because her eyes glaze over, and my feelings, because I'm emotionally stunted.
Well, okay, but here's how this happens. They get their nerd on, and the only place I really get involved is their science experiment. They want to hook electrodes to my head.
Well, if you learn more about actual science,
I don't need
you'll be able to participate in the conversation. Science is all around us. Science is a never-ending process of trying to understand the world around us. Everybody, if you're listening to this podcast right now, start learning more about science.
It's all good. I can teach you boys
I'm
some
going to
things.
become the white Neil deGrasse Tyson of the paranormal.
Whatever.
That's what I'm going to do.
But yeah, Phantom Science, I don't know if they're still doing anything out there right now or not, but definitely a fun episode, guys. That's one you should go back and listen to. So, Oh.
Are you pointing at this right here?
Yeah,
that specifically?
That.
So yeah, that was the finale of season 1.
That was a long season 1.
It was a long season 1. We had a kind of a short season 2 out of it, and we came into season 2 with entertaining the idea that maybe, just maybe, we'd be saying sayonara. So we wanted to make sure we got all of the people we loved on. So all season 2 are also PBR hosts, but we kicked off the season. She's trying to get me to say it with the season premiere episode. She's shaking her head because the first actual episode was about a book that got published between the end of season 1 and the start of season 2, a book called Fear and Fascination in Edinburgh Manor.
And who's the author?
I'm the author. We had an author on the podcast, and it was me. It was great. Kelly was sick that night. I was all alone.
Well, I wasn't supposed to be sick, but I was sick.
No one's ever supposed to be sick.
God, I was really sick
You
that
were
night.
really sick that night.
Yeah.
You were crazy sick, sounded like hell. It wasn't the vid, but you had something that was
whatever that other cold
out.
was that knocked me on my hiney. I remember that now. Ooh, that was a bad cold.
It sounds really bad, though, like influenza or something.
Was that when I had the flu?
Might have had the flu bug.
When was that? It might have been if it was right after surgery.
Potentially. So Fear and Fascination in Edinburgh Manor. Quick recap of that episode. So if anybody's not familiar with Edinburgh Manor out there in the world, there's a property in little bitty Jones County, Iowa. And that property, beginning in 1856, was opened as the Jones County Poor Farm, back where the Poor Farm systems were in play. The building that you see now was opened as the Jones County home of the incurably insane. There's documentation, like they wouldn't take on a new patient unless they were deemed incurable by another psychiatrist. And over the course of the years, just a lot of weird, eclectic history, over 150 deaths in the building, most of them by suicide. And then I thought it was a bright idea to shut myself in there alone for 5 days. And Fear and Fascination is the story of that. If you haven't gotten it, you can get it on the Traveler's Moon Peril website or on Amazon.
So you can get it through Amazon, but if you go to the website and get it, you will get an autographed copy. So, yeah. Oh, to the manor. Yeah. I was just catching up on chat. So yeah, like Chris was saying, we made a point of making sure we had a lot of the PBR hosts on. We did not get to them all by any means. There are far more hosts than we were able to get on the show before we're wrapping up here. But, we just wanted to start highlighting some of them. And
some of the people we love, like Dare Bear, whose presence is very obviously missing tonight.
I know.
Because we haven't had that many questions.
I mean, where is he gone?
The fuck, Dare.
And then
if you're listening to this out there in the world, the fuck. And then Kim and Allison.
REP Paranormal. You heard the beautiful Allison at the beginning of the show. Well, and in the little bit later at the beginning. And then, of course, Miss Cynthia Gerodius of Raven Rose Paranormal. They're a team that you see with us quite often.
Your sister from another mister.
That's the one.
Miss Shay Carroll.
The one and only Shay.
Which I'm a little sad she wasn't here.
I think she maybe not.
She should
best,
know.
So, yeah.
I heard her internet was down, which is usually a pretty big factor in live streaming a podcast.
Yeah.
And then we get to tonight. We've
got things we got to talk about, though, before we talk about the finale.
We are at the finale.
We've got a bunch
This has happened. You want to recap the finale? We just did it. I know, and there's not that much time left, but we've got some shit to plug, boys and girls.
Some shit to plug.
On our way out of Paranormal Buzz Radio, we have a hell of a schedule ahead of us, which is part of why we're skedaddling.
We're getting out of Shay's hair and stop making her gray.
Getting the hell out of Dodge. And from here, this weekend, we're going to Malvern Manor.
We are.
Going to Malvern Manor. Is there going to be a live stream? We don't know. We were invited. We're not going to be rude. Just assume we can live stream shit.
I'm guessing probably.
You'll see some sort of content.
Yeah. So I would say there's a strong potential that you'll see some live streams Saturday night. But like Chris said, we're going to ask our hosts when we get there just to make sure.
But it's the same like strong chance of storms, but the forecast is 10 days away, so you don't really trust that too much. Like you will see when we get there. The kind of vibes, you know?
Yeah.
I don't trust meteorologists. I know they have their things, but...
Well, like who the hell said it was supposed to rain today? Did you see the hail?
I was too far south. I didn't see it.
You didn't get any of the hail? Yeah, we got hail.
Yeah, I heard... The man with the scary voice on the radio said there might be hail, but I myself did not experience the hail.
I definitely have discovered, though, that if there is going to be weather, I have to have my phone face down, because if it's face up, even if the screen is dark, it will say, lightning has been detected in your area, and it makes me wet myself.
More than the actual lightning?
Yes.
Fascinating.
Because there's a man talking all of a sudden.
From there, we are going up to... something Bay. It's by Petoskey, Michigan. To the Little Traverse Bay Parafest.
Is it not actually in Petoskey?
No.
Oh. let's figure this
Yeah,
out.
the lovely Mr. John Cassidy is
He's a
invited us
great
up.
guy, you guys.
Oh, yeah, sweetest fella. Like, Kelly's like, hey, I like rocks. And like a week later, we get fucking rocks in the
He
mail.
sent me Petoskey stones. He's my new best friend.
I'm going to hug him for 5 minutes when I see him next.
Oh my God. So anybody who doesn't know what a Petoskey stone is, it's the rocks that have got all the little white circles all over them. They're the coolest rock. They're just so pretty. And I absolutely love them. And yeah, we were talking about that. And then all of a sudden I get a package of rocks and it was the best. He's a nice guy.
He's a real nice guy. Good to hear he's a nice guy, at least. And we'll be up there with him.
It says Petoskey, Michigan.
Is it in Petoskey,
Yeah.
Michigan?
April 28th and 29th, 2023, Petoskey, Michigan.
No, I was thinking it was. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Probably thinking of mid-Michigan. I don't remember.
Like we mentioned before, our calendars are fucking bonkers because we're up in Michigan multiple times this year. I can't believe there, Mr. John Cassidy, Mr. Tim Malley, Mr. Dustin Perry from that one TV show.
That show.
What the fuck is that show?
I think it's new, isn't it?
Ghost Hunters. That's it. And then we have back-to-back weekends with that whole cast of cool people.
We do.
If y'all are free on May 6th, you should be planting yourself in the middle of freaking nowhere. A little freaking middle of nowhere place called Hopkinton, Iowa. If you don't know where it is, get a map. It's where I grew up. It's a lovely small town.
To make it a little more reasonable to find, though, it's right outside Monticello. It's about 15 minutes from Edinburgh Manor.
I was going to say 15 minutes from Edinburgh Manor is probably going to be the best reference you can give most people.
Yeah.
And it's about 25, half hour.
Isn't it that far?
Yeah.
It's I guess so, because it's about 10 minutes to get to Monticello. So
yeah, but
we're probably 45 minutes to an hour to get from there, from Cedar Rapids. So means we've got to be less than an hour from the Dubuque area, Davenport area.
Yeah, it's centrally located. It's just it's in the you don't even go through. You're going to drive
by some farms.
Oh yeah, a lot of corn, a lot of cows.
But where are we going to be?
But you're going to show up, and you'll be like, "What the hell's a whole ass college campus doing in this little town?" And you'll end up at the old Lennox College. So this place was opened mid-1800s, back when Hopkinton had a bright, promising future. A fair amount of people. And then World War II hit. In 1936, half the student body was drafted, and the school closed down. Nowadays, it is open as the Delaware County Historical Society Museum. There are 5 buildings on the property. For this Potographs event, which is a fantastic thing. It's giving back to like animal shelters, and it just makes your heart all warm and fuzzy.
It's definitely a cool experience. I mean, like he said, it is a fundraiser for an animal shelter. We help give back to the college so we can help preserve that college and that historical location, and just give you guys an opportunity to come into a place that really is not open for paranormal investigations.
Like if my paranormal investigator listener friends are out there, this is probably one of the only chances that you'll get to like actually get into this place and do any sort of real investigating.
Yeah.
Had kind of an in there.
It happens when you grow up in that town, but it's also a location. So we're saying that it hasn't really been investigated a ton, but it's not the first time that it's been investigated.
Weirdly enough, it was also me the other time.
But it's a place, guys, where I've seen a lot of paranormal data, evidence, whatever you want to call it, out there throughout my years. Findings. I've seen a lot of findings throughout my years. And I can probably count on 1 or 2 hands the number of things that I have seen that have truly impressed me. And
don't say those words.
But one of those came from this location, and it's one that Chris caught way back when. So, it definitely is. There's something there. There's activity there. This clip that Chris has is just phenomenal. So it's going to be great to get back in there.
And if you find me in private, I can show you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So details about the event.
Big, beautiful location, which will have access to 3 of the 5 buildings on the campus. So this is going to be May 6th. During the day, think like
10 to 7.
10 to 7. Think a little baby Paracon. There's going to be, well, us. Tim's going to be there. Dustin Perry's going to be there. We mentioned John. We're going to have ACG Paranormal making their way in from out of state. We've got a team coming up from Winnipeg, which I believe is just the Winnipeg Paranormal.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what
yeah, just a ton of cool cats. We'll actually be investigating the college campus that night. And that's, again, that's probably a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Don't want to be missing all that stuff.
Yeah, so
and you're helping fucking animals. You gonna really let them shoot a dog? If you don't come, they're gonna shoot a dog.
Oh my god!
I'm trying to play hardball here, but seriously, it is a fantastic cause. Like Tim's got a heart of gold for putting on these events, and we got lucky or cursed enough to be wrangled into this process.
So there's 2 different options that you guys can do for tickets. You can sign up to get into just like the Paracon portion. That runs from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Speakers are John Cassidy, Gary Fisher, AGC Paranormal, April Rowan, Tim Malley, Winnipeg Paranormal, Traveler's Moon, and then, of course, we wrap up the evening with Mr. Dustin Perry of TV's Ghost Hunters. So that's one portion of the ticket. You can also buy just the evening portion if you prefer. That's the investigation of the college. Everybody that I just mentioned is going to be a part of that investigation, so you'll have the opportunity to investigate not just with Traveler's Moon, but all of these people, including Dustin, and get a chance to go into all 3 of the buildings that we have access to. And tickets for the investigation are only $40, guys. I mean, that is a hell of a deal. That's a hell of a deal. So definitely snag up those tickets because we are excited. It's going to be fun. Going to be fun.
Yeah, so that's that's one of the big boys coming up. We have a lot of big boys coming up.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So after that, a weekend, I guess it's not a weekend off, it's a graduation that weekend, so, yeah. It's not on the calendar.
No problem. I thought we were doing something that Friday night. Didn't somebody talk to us about doing something that Friday night?
Yeah, keep an eye out. There's something on our schedule we're forgetting about. After that, will be able to find us at none other than Shawshank. It's not actually called Shawshank. You probably know it better as the Ohio State Reformatory for Parapsychon 4. Super excited. We're going to have a booth down in a cell block. That's a first. And to do it at such a well-known, dare I say, notorious location, that's pretty damn exciting to me.
We're excited. It's going to be a good time. And there's going to be a million awesome people at that event. I can't even think of everybody who's going to be there.
Old DP's going to be sick of us.
I know. I was going to say Dustin will be there again.
The Booth Brothers.
So.
Y'all, we're into 28 Days Haunted. Aaron Sager's going to be there. The Booth Brothers. Mike Ricksacker's going to be there. And I personally am very excited for that. You might know him from Ancient Aliens. I know him as Ricker Schnicker. She's trying to look up the event, but we're already moving on to the next one.
I can't think of the name of it. Is it just...
Parapsychon. Parapsychon 4. I said that.
Oh my God.
You were in the room.
I know, but
you were in the room, and it was just then.
And it just hiccuped already. Leave me be. Here we go. So we've got Dustin Perry, Mr. Daniel Class, Brian Cano, not the Booth Brothers.
Brian Cano's going to be there. Dan Class.
The Booth Brothers are going to be there.
Ghost Brothers.
I said Ghost Brothers.
She's not keeping up even a little bit.
Andrea Perrin, that we've been talking about, will be there.
Shane Pittman, Dave Schrader.
Ricker Schnicker.
I already said that.
Just a lot of cool people are going to be there. So definitely an event if you feel up to a road trip after you've road tripped to Iowa for Potographs, of course.
Of course.
So
after that, we have a graduation party.
Because, we got to do some normal things in there on occasion.
After that, though, we're heading to Ashmore Estates.
Ooh.
Very exciting with our little, Like my brain's starting to just call them the core group because it's like if you ever see us out investigating with a group, that's to be expecting. You're to be expecting, Allison and Kim and Rebecca Williamson. I know your fucking name. I think Chad Derry said in group chat he's going to be there. I think Sin's coming.
I think Cynthia,
Raven Rose. I think the whole of Raven Rose is coming. I'm not good at group chats. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. As my toxic trait, I suck at group chats.
Oh, God, yeah.
After that, we're going to be in Vinton, Iowa.
Going
to be investigating the Horridge House and a old railroad depot.
And that's with the Haunted Hillbilly Paranormal.
Yeah, buddy.
They're good shit. They are good people.
Yeah, that gets us that's through the next 2 months. I just updated our website, so if you want to keep track of any of that, go to www.travelersmoonpara.com. And links to all that jazz, that's all on the website. So, you want to get on that Potographs event, get those tickets.
And
that's
grab them
there.
up, guys.
The Facebook pages to like. Facebook page of the website to Parapsychon. That's LinkedIn. It's all there.
It's gonna be fun.
And now I'm stalling
I know.
because we've done our shout outs. We've recapped the last 2 years of our life in a very brief hour.
It's kind of crazy.
It's really crazy.
We do have at least one last thing, though. I mean, we need to give a huge shout out to PBR. And not saying that the PBR family has not been amazing. We love each and every one of you guys, and we had the wonderful opportunity of gaining friends and family through that, but mainly Shay. She has been just instrumental in keeping PBR up and running and taking care of everybody and herding especially us in, and just taking care of us, making sure we know what the hell we're doing. And a lot of what we have accomplished in our podcast world is due to Shay. So absolute huge shout out to Miss Shay Carroll. We love her to death. She's not rid of us. There's no possible way she's getting rid
No,
of
as a
us.
matter of fact, you'll find us on Shay's Paranormal Chat this Friday. It's that damn brief.
Yeah. I think I said this once before. We're like herpes. You just can't get rid of us. So we'll definitely be back. But yeah,
little cameo episodes here or there, maybe. Like
Probably
you haven't heard The
just
Last of
for
Us
giggles.
on Paranormal Buzz Radio, but as far as the Traveler's Moon podcast, who knows?
At least for now.
The world in the future is a wild and crazy place. Maybe you'll see us here on this platform once again someday.
But for now, we're going to stop giving Shay grace.
You'll start giving shit grades. You'll have to look at our faces. That's gonna suck.
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, there's good and bad to everything, guys.
At least, like for this one, like I don't have to put on makeup.
Yeah, I
I
really
don't
need
gotta
to wash
wear
my
a bra.
hair. You dumbass.
I've only had my nipples out once, and it wasn't even on a podcast.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Well,
Okay.
shit.
It's been fun though.
It's been a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well,
And we're not done. We're just taking a breather.
Taking a breather.
Going and harassing people from a different location for a little bit, and we'll definitely still be out there, still be keeping an eye on us, keep an eye out for that Traveler's Moon podcast. If we have to call it something else, we'll definitely let you guys know that. But like Chris said, a lot of what we're going to do from here on out is going to be live on Facebook originally, and we'll see from there where we're able to post it. But
Just out in the words of the late great Tom Petty, into the great wide open. You can't do that. That's a rights violation.
not if it's less than 10 seconds.
I don't know if that's how that works on podcasts.
Yeah, I don't know. They have to find me. One
One last time.
last time.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning into the Traveler's Moon podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts, Chris Nielsen.
I'm Kelly McCarville for now.
And we want to thank Paranormal Buzz Radio for being a huge part of our lives this last couple of years. We want to thank all of you that tuned in to chat for our last show. I want to thank, But yeah, it's to everybody. We're super grateful. It's been a whole lot of fun.
Definitely need to, and that was a thank you that we forgot to give out, guys. It's just, I mean, everybody who's tuned into the shows over the years, everybody who has consistently supported us, helped shared things out. We know a lot of you are going to continue to keep following us no matter where we go, and we love you guys for that. But there's a lot of familiar names that we see in chat all the time, and we appreciate each and every one of you guys. So, yeah.
You can find us online. You can find us anywhere online at Traveler's Moon Para. Because Traveler's Moon was taken. You can also find us at the Traveler's Moon website, www.travelersmoonpara.com. You sexy beaches, have a good night. Allison, this is your cue. Cut the cord, please.
Don't do it, Allison. Don't do it.
It's getting freaking emotional.
He's about to cry. It's going to get sappy. All right. We love you guys. Thank you.